Preston's historic Trailhead Inn is your crossroads to history, relaxation, and fun. Located next to the newly renovated Milwaukee Grain Elevator, the inn offers several options for bluff country travelers. The Trailhead's comfortable rooms are easily accessible to the Harmony Preston Valley State Bike Trail and miles of sightseeing, fun, and fishing. Want even more space? Then go back to school in one of the Trailhead Inn's spacious suites. Here, the 3 R's stand for rest, relaxation, and recreation. A new hot tub and sauna will melt your stress away. Maybe a modern cabin is more your style. We've got you covered if you're seeking cozy comfort or just want to lounge on a porch. We also haven't forgotten you might need a snack or a certain souvenir. You're sure to forget about the seconds, minutes, and hours as you enjoy a short walk to Preston's historic downtown. Or get closer to nature while exploring the area's scenic roads and trails. The Trailhead Inn in Preston, Minnesota, where you arrive as a guest and leave as a friend.
What's interesting there is I talked to the owners of those businesses, Shelley Hansen with B&B Bowl and Carlisle Corson with Trailhead Inn and Suites. Carlisle, he put that video up. It's not only on YouTube, so there's one place that people can find it. So if they go into Google, they type in, you know, Trailhead, or they somehow find it by their search criteria in Preston, they go ahead and find that. They're going to find that video on YouTube, but then he also put it on his website. So it's in 2 locations. He grabbed the embedded source code and ended up dropping it on his site. The other thing is B&B Bowl, she ended up posting that on her Facebook page so that everybody who's a fan could end up finding it there as well. E-marketing, this is one that I kind of covered a little bit when I talked a little bit earlier, but basically e-marketing is a nice, organized, kind of a customized, designed template, if you will, targeting specific groups. And the nice thing is, here's what's really interesting to me, is you can track, we use a software where when we send out, for Fillmore County Journal, when we send out an e-marketing campaign, we'll target about 118,000 consumers and businesses. Because we own lists for certain markets. So we'll do an email blast. All these people have actually opted in to receive this. So I'm not spamming people. They get that, and when they receive it, it will show me, in our reports, it'll show me what email address opened every single one, and it'll tell you information about what links they're clicking on. And so what's interesting is you can get an idea of how much activity you're getting off of these e-marketing campaigns, which I can go back to my Google Analytics and I can look at how much referring site traffic is coming in from that. So again, there's so much stuff at your disposal. It's just a question of where you want to put your energy. The question is, you know, does it make sense for you? QR codes. Has anybody seen QR codes? Probably seen those all over the place. My recommendation, first off, you take your phone, you scan it in, and it brings you to a specific link on a website. My recommendation, this is what we've done with our business, it's got to make sense depending on how you're using it, what you're using it for. And for example, if you take my business card, which is in the folder, and you scan the QR code on there, it says check me out on the back. That will take you to my personal profile on smgwebdesign.com. If you go to Gabby's or Michelle's or Tyler's and you scan theirs, it's going to take you to their specific profile on the site. I was having a conversation with a realtor about having QR codes included with description of a property, so people can scan it, go right to it. When you get it on your phone, they can forward on to somebody and say, hey, maybe we should take a look at this. That's just an example of how you can use it. But QR codes, they need to be used in the right place at the right time, and sometimes I'll see them used and it'll say, basically you scan it and it takes you maybe to just the home page. My recommendation is that it goes to a specific offer. So you're going to be able to track, hey, I want to get people to go to a specific area of my website. But you can put it in a lot of different places: business cards, print ads, inserts, brochures. Maybe even you walk into Chick's Pizza and there's a QR code. You go ahead and click on it. It's sitting right there in a table tent. It takes you to something on their website. Just some things to consider with QR codes. But you're going to see more and more of those used in different ways, and they're actually pretty easy to generate. You just go and type in QR code in Google, and it's easy to generate. So should I have a mobile site, and what's the difference between a mobile site and a mobile app? Mobile sites, basically, it's a different version of the site. It's kind of a little bit of a reorganized and trimmed down version of the site. The information's put together differently so that you can view it on your phone differently. Now, personally, I actually, when I go to a site and it forces me to the mobile version, I actually like going back to the original version, because that's that's the version I've been looking at. That's the version that I went to normally when I'm on my desktop computer, and all of a sudden it seems like I got a different version. I don't like it. Everybody has their own thing. Some people are going to like it, some people are not. But mobile version is just a different version of your site. Mobile application would be, for example, we were talking about the mobile applications that might be a consideration, like for a restaurant. And the way that I look at it, you got to make a list of your priorities. And for example, are you using Facebook and YouTube and all the other things that you have at your disposal? I kind of consider make your list of what you think is most important to drive traffic to your site, and then when you get to the mobile one, then you say, okay, where is that on my list? Am I doing a good job in all these other areas? Because really what you're looking at doing is paying to create another site. I mean, not that it's a bad thing, it's just make a list of your priorities and see where that fits into that list. Again, smartphones are making it easier for people to navigate. More people are moving to the smartphones. As a matter of fact, I think when everybody comes up for renewal, they're going to be making the incentives to go to a smartphone so much more advantageous that within a couple years here, even my dad's going to be on a smartphone. He won't like it, but he'll be on a smartphone. So I think we're going to be pushed in that direction anyways. In the past 30 days, I just went and looked at the OlmsteadCountyJournal.com. 12% of our site visits came from mobile devices. I went and looked at Fillmore County Journal. It was 8.5%. So it's there. There's some activity, but it's not. It just depends on how you look at it. Fillmore and Olmsted County, obviously different demographics and different technology uses, but just it's good. You can find that out on your own Google Analytics. What does the future look like? Again, I mentioned if you're not utilizing the online marketing, and your competition is, to be quite honest, you're going to end up falling behind. I mean, if while you're sitting in your war room trying to figure out how do I market and brand my company in a better way, whoever you're competing against, and it could be a wide variety. We have wide variety of industries represented here. Whoever you're going up against could be doing the same thing, and if they're implementing things and you're just sitting back and not doing it, you could end up falling behind, which makes it even more challenging to catch up. This is an interesting one. Greg House Chevrolet, his father Bob, that business, they've had it in their family since 1925. And what's interesting to me is I stopped by because they just finished a $2 million remodel project on that building. Stopped in, talked to him, and he said, we were talking about how they do their marketing, and he said that they do quite a bit with email now. And I said, well, tell me about that. He said, well, we've kind of made it a rule of thumb that we respond to every single email that comes in within less than 3 minutes. And he said, doesn't matter what time. He says he has a sales manager who has a smartphone on his nightstand, and he's taking emails coming in at 1:30 at night, in the morning. It goes off, he gets up, he goes and responds, and their goal is to respond within 3 minutes. And the reason why is because somebody's looking for a car, they're looking for red Chevy Impala with so many miles. He says they go look for it. They're going to be on another site within a minute. Then they're going to be on another site, and then another site. And if they're inquiring from all these different opportunities, and I didn't respond quick enough, somebody else might. And of course, people going on there at 1:30 in the morning is probably a limited crowd, but he's talking more so during the day especially. The opportunity cost of not taking advantage of online marketing, and when meanwhile you're the Chevy dealership that says, I'll get to him and I'll get back to him sometime later today, and then meanwhile somebody else gets back to him within 3 minutes. People love that. Matter of fact, I have 13 email accounts in my phone for different things. I get stuff, and if I can respond as quickly as possible, I try to. It's not always possible, but it's one of those situations where if you're not doing it and your competition is, it is going to hurt you. Again, if you ignore your online marketing opportunities, you lose control of your brand. There's a lot of stuff out there that might be representing your business, and you want to just make yourself aware of it, if nothing else. There's some people will maybe get a Facebook page going, but then they don't ever do anything with it. They don't put, if you set up a Facebook page and you never put anything up on it, it's never going to get any activity, it's never getting any traffic. And then if you're not putting anything up there, then why bother even connecting it on your site and putting the little logo on there. So it's kind of one of those deals where it's the hokey pokey. You're either in or you're out. If you're going to do it, you got to really commit yourself to doing it. And the challenge is when you're running a business, you own a business, you're heavily involved in that, and all of a sudden you could literally just about hire somebody to just do that. Just please, every day or every week, I want you to go in and put stuff up on my Facebook page to drive more traffic to our site. And the challenge is, it's like, okay, you're running a business, and I know because I get busy with things. I end up having to go and do my social media stuff kind of after hours, after I've taken care of what actually helps pay the bills. Then it's all of a sudden get into the social media stuff, post stuff, early or late. I'll get on starting at 5 in the morning, and before I go to bed, I'm taking another look at it and seeing how we're doing. It requires a tremendous amount of commitment and maintenance. It's one of those things where if you set it up, you can't set it and forget it. You got to continuously keep an eye on it, and I see it being used for all types of different businesses. So it's just a question of how you want to use it. Is it Facebook? I would say Facebook would be a number one. It just depends on what kind of business, though. Maybe you want to consider LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. But for sure, I would try to get set up on Facebook. And do some competitive intelligence searches. Look at what your competition is doing. See how they're doing it versus what you're doing, and if there's any value there. But what's interesting is the stuff that we're talking about today is going to change tomorrow and every single week. So one thing I find, I'm right next door to SMG Web Design. They're right outside my office. And so the newspaper's downstairs, so I'm kind of involved in a lot of different things. I have to check in with them regularly and just to find out, okay, now what happened today? What's new? Because Facebook and LinkedIn, all the big companies, Google, they're all bringing a ton of new technology to the table. So then it's a question of how do I implement and make it, how is this of value to me? Why do I even want to spend time with this? Well, it's trying to find ways to utilize it for your benefit.